Hi, my name is Jennifer Graham, and I am the blogger for Poe in Wonderland. You can find it at poeinwonderland.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. And I wanted to post my very first video about my trip to Richmond, Virginia for Edgar Allan Poe's birthday bash. It's held every year, the weekend of his birthday. It used to be a 24-hour event, and now it's a 12-hour one. 24 hours didn't go as well because no one was really showing up around 3 or 4 in the morning. And the staff had taken their mattresses and were sleeping in the buildings, but it really wasn't going as well. So they reduced it to 12 hours, which is nicely attended every year. I came in 2018 and I stayed at the Berkeley Hotel, which is where I'm staying now. It's a wonderful old boutique hotel in the Shockoe Slip district. And it has wonderful staff and a restaurant, which is pretty convenient. And the street also has an indie bookstore and some restaurants and bars you can visit as well. So last night, I came out of the restaurant for dinner, the Irish pub down the street, and it was 36 degrees and windy. And I thought to myself, yeah, this isn't going to happen. But today, when I arrived at the museum at 1:30, it was around 37, 38 degrees. But not raining and no wind, so definitely doable. The first thing I did after walking around a little bit was hop on the trolley tour that they're offering now. And Chris Simter, the museum's curator, did a wonderful job as the tour guide. And we got to ride up and down the street and see some of the places that Edgar Allan would have gone as a youth and some of his early life. So we passed the place where his house used to be with his foster family, the Allens, on Main and South Fifth Street. It would have taken up quite a bit of the block, and you could see a view of the river from there. Of course, it's no longer standing. We saw the site of one of his first writing jobs, the Southern Literary Messenger, also no longer standing, but they took some of the bricks from the original structure, and it now is used for the Poe Shrine and some walkways at the Poe Museum. When Poe first started there, he started out with his first piece, and the staff at the Messenger were like, no way, this is pretty horrific and violent, and it's not going to work. And that story was Berenice, and Poe insisted that they publish it because the reason it was going to do well was because it was horrific and violent. It's about a gentleman who is obsessed with his fiance's teeth, and it doesn't end well. So if you haven't read it, you might want to check it out. We proceeded further down the street, and we passed an area where he would have played as a child, Harvey Woods, which today is the site of Hollywood Cemetery, known for the burial grounds of 2 U.S. presidents, John Monroe and John Tyler, and Jefferson Davis, the former president or the only president of the Confederate States of America. It's also the resting place of about 18,000 Confederate soldiers. So I might want to stop there next time I come, since I'm also a cemetery photographer. I'm sure they have amazing monuments and notables there to record. We passed the church where he attended with his family, called the Monumental Church, which is still standing, and they sat in pew number 80, which I did not know. There is a structure that is also still standing, the Talavera House. The family's daughter was friends with Poe's sister, and it was the site of his last reading of The Raven. Reportedly, when he got to a certain point in the poem, guests ran out of the room in fright. 2 days after he read the poem, he left Richmond on his fateful trip, where we still don't know the details surrounding his mysterious death. We rode back to the museum, and I bought some items because I can't go without buying a few things. I went to the curator's talk with Chris and saw some interesting things as usual, including the hair that they still have from his boss's daughter. There's always something at the museum that's unique and that you can't find anywhere else. I had an opportunity to listen to Harvey Kolitz Jr., who was the MC of the event, one of the first MCs ever, and he's a local personality, author, historian. And then we also had a chance to listen to Edgar Allan Poe himself read us some of his poetry and cut his birthday cake. After that, I walked around a little bit more, enjoyed the bar, enjoyed some of the local restaurant fare that they were having this year. They did have that a couple of years ago, so it was really nice to have it this time. Still a little chilly. It rained. Kind of ducked in the tent most of the time. Saw a performance by the Cold Hearts, which is a touring theater company out of Brooklyn, New York. They were wonderful. They performed a play or a story that was really interactive, well acted, sorry, and I really enjoyed it. So it would be interesting to ever see them if they came through Atlanta. I'm not sure if they would, but it would be kind of cool to go and maybe take my kids. I have 3 boys. So after that, the first time I came to visit the event, I lasted 6.5 hours, and I was determined this time to make it a lot longer. But it's not going to happen, I don't think. I made it 5.5 hours, and I've left, and I'm at the Berkeley again. I still have my bracelet on from the event, and I could go back tonight, listen to some more readings, and have the Poe toast at midnight. But I'm pretty happy in the hotel, and I'm getting ready to have an excellent dinner in their restaurant. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about it in case you ever want to come. It's definitely worth it. Whether you are a diehard Poe fan like myself, or you just want something interesting to do and around his birthday, or something to tell your friends about. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check me out at poeandwonderland.com.